Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the AFC East divisional preview for the 2024 NFL season. I'm Alex. I'm going to guide you guys through this division and what I think will transpire in the upcoming season. Now, this is a really intriguing division. There are three teams fighting for a division title, and it's going to be tight. I think this might be the tightest. No, I will say this right now. This will be the... I'm going to start that clip over. Man, this division is going to be incredibly interesting this season. I'm telling you, we're going to have three teams fight for a division title, and not only that, I think this is going to be the tightest division race this season. I have no idea who ends up walking away with a division title, but it's going to be fun to see what happens. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Up in the northeast corner of the United States, the New England Patriots playing out of Boston. Oh boy, this is interesting. For the first time, what seems like forever, we're talking about the New England Patriots as one of the bottom teams, not only in this division, but in the NFL. It's new territory for a lot of football fans, myself included. You know, I'm in my early 20s. This is the first time I've really seen New England be like a bottom feeder, at least at the start of the season, because who knows what happens. Stranger things have occurred in the NFL. Jacoby Brissett is the Week 1 starter, though Drake May, their third overall pick, will see some sort of action throughout the season. I can guarantee you that. Ramondre Stevenson's not a bad running back, but what concerns me is that receiving core. Oh boy. When either Kendrick Bourne or Demario Davis is your number one receiver, that's not a great sign. And then you're throwing Jalen Polk out there, the rookie from Washington. I mean, Hunter Henry's the best pass catcher on this Patriots team. You don't say that a lot about many NFL teams, that the tight end is your best pass catcher. There are a couple out there, but not a ton. And I'm not a massive fan of the offense. Antonio Gibson's not a bad second running back, but that defense is brutal. That front seven, I can't get behind. I like Christian Gonzalez. Hopefully he can play more than like 2 games this season. That secondary is not too bad. Kyle Duggar's good. I like Jabril Peppers. I do not really have very much confidence in this Patriots team to get stuff done. And it's reflected in their schedule. This is the team, I think, if there's one team in the league that I think will be this year's Panthers, it's going to be New England. I think they're the only team in the league that could actually win less than 3 games. I don't think they win more than 5. Really weird to be saying this about New England, though. I do think they get some wins later in the back half of the year, but they're going to have the longest losing streak to start the season. They're going to lose 8 straight. That schedule is not friendly. Maybe you get that win against Seattle, maybe, but that's the easiest opponent on that schedule up until they play up until their game against the Tennessee Titans. Welcome to the rest of the league, New England. Welcome to what being a terrible team. Welcome to what tanking feels like. But New England is definitely the team that I think is going to struggle the most. And they are my pick to have the top overall pick next season. Just 3 victories for the New England Patriots this season from me. Now let's move on to the new look New York Jets with a new rebrand going back to the old days of the Jets with the old logo and everything. Kind of a blend of new and old. New uniforms, new everything for this Jets team as they try to go enter a new era. Hopefully an era of winning. New era was supposed to start last season, But, of course, Aaron Rodgers got hurt in just 4 snaps, took him out for the entire season. And that basically took the Jets from a team that a lot of people were having a trendy pick to win the division to just the Jets again. Of course, they're trying to change that this year. Aaron Rodgers, if he can stay healthy, this team's going to be pretty good. But that's what we were all saying last year. Breece Hall's back, and he's still a great running back. They got a good top receiver in Garrett Wilson. You just look at that first game that they played against Buffalo, where that circus catch. Oh my gosh! And I like that defense too. Sauce Gardner, one of the best corners in the league. Some may say the best. And Quinnen Williams is just wrecking the entire offensive line that he's facing. He is just a one-man wrecking crew right now. Hopefully C.J. Mosley can stay healthy. At least that's what they're thinking. That's what they're hoping. Because, man, he's struggled to stay healthy a little bit with the Jets. But I like this team. The team on paper looks pretty good. And it's going to reflect on their schedule. I like them. I don't think they get that win week 1 against San Francisco. I think it's a really tough draw for Monday Night Football. Week 1 on the road. Aaron Rodgers hasn't played in over a year. But their schedule eases up significantly for the next 4 games, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to win the next 4. But yeah, their schedule's pretty friendly. You know, you got the Titans. Of course, the Patriots twice as nice. You got the Broncos and Vikings they're going to have to play. You get the Cardinals. The back of the last 5 games are going to be tough. I think that is where their season's going to be defined. There have been several cases this season where teams have a relatively easy schedule to begin the year and a just brutal schedule to end the year. So I think the Jets run into a bit of a slump, 3-game losing streak there. 2 games out on the road in Florida. I think the Rams get them as well. But I think they win. Those last 2 games against Buffalo and Miami are going to be must-watch TV. As I said to start the video, I think this is a 3-team race. Those 2 games are going to be absolutely critical if the Jets want to win this division. And I think that Week 18 game against Miami could be for the division title. But, anyways, I think the Jets, and again, if Rodgers gets hurt, a couple players get hurt, they very well could stumble back down to 6-7 wins again. So, they're just hoping Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. And, 11 wins for the New York Jets. Pretty weird to be saying that, but 11 wins for the New York Jets and their first playoff berth since 2010. Next up, we're heading south to hang out with the Miami Dolphins and take a look at what I think is going to happen with the Dolphins this season. They're looking for their first division title since 2008, and this might be their best chance to do so. Tua Tagovailoa back in the saddle. Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert's a great running back tandem, and who can forget that 1-2 punch at receiver, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Odell Beckham was a pickup for the Dolphins in the offseason. He's on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list, as well as Bradley Chubb, who is someone they're going to really want on the defensive side of the ball. That secondary is good, but that front 7 is where I get a little bit nervous. I think that's the big weakness for this Dolphins team. That offense is going to be able to score themselves out of situations if they can be effective all the time. Because, of course, this is very much a boom or bust offense. They're either, throwing a 70-yard bomb for a touchdown. They're very explosive. But if the offense gets behind, they have not shown me that they can claw their way back in games. They can come back. When they've played ahead, they've played well. When they've played from behind, they've struggled to beat good competition. So I think that this is going to be a critical season for the Dolphins and for Tua Tagovailoa, who just signed that massive extension. I think it's a decent season. I think it's a good season for the Dolphins. I think they go out to a nice winning streak. Those first 2 games are going to be interesting to see. Like, that Jacksonville game is going to be huge. I think by the end of the season, that game is going to be big for playoff implications. That Buffalo game, I feel like with it being week 2 in Miami against Buffalo, I'm going to give them the win there. The Dolphins have really struggled to beat the Bills as of late. But I'm going to give that one to Miami. And then those next 3 games, I feel like, are all winnable contests. I feel like they're bound to slip up. At some point, I think Indianapolis is able to get them. That Week 18 game, as I mentioned during the Jets segment, is going to be incredibly important for the division. It could be for the division title, just like their game against Buffalo was last season. I think this team, if they play up to expectations and Tua Tagovailoa proves to be the real deal, I think they could get to 12 wins. If they struggle, maybe suffer a couple injuries, I'll fall back down to earth and lose those tough games that I have them winning, as that has been one of their biggest problems, and was their biggest problem last season. They couldn't beat good teams. They were the benefactor of a pretty easy schedule, and then got to the postseason, and, well, to be fair, they had to go on the road, play Kansas City in minus 30-degree weather, but, that's besides the point. This is a prove-it year for Miami. It really is, and they need it. They need to make the postseason. Winning the division is certainly also going to be a huge help. So, 10 wins for the Dolphins. Can they win the division? They could. Do I have it happening? I don't think so. I think they'll fall out just short. And finally, let's jump up north to the frozen tundra of Buffalo, New York, to take a look at that Buffalo Bills team that everyone is talking about and is the trendy pick for a regression this season. Josh Allen's still back there throwing the rock. James Cook's still RB1. But the big concern for everyone is the fact that they lost Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis and their big-ticket receivers. So they got a group of pass catchers like Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman the rookie, and Curtis Samuel, with Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox also catching passes in the tight end position. But I implore you to not look at that receiving core and immediately write off this Buffalo team. That defense is still pretty dang good. Rasul Douglas, Taron Johnson in the backfield. They lose Jordan Poyer to division rival Miami, which I think is going to be a huge help for the Dolphins. But they still have Ed Oliver, Greg Rousseau, Matt Milano. When Matt Milano comes back from injury, I think that this is going to be an incredibly interesting team to watch. I don't think they're going to be as explosive as they have been, but I think they're still going to find a way to win football games through that defense and Josh Allen working his magic every now and then. I think he's going to elevate the play with the receivers, and it's going to lead him to a nice season. 10 wins. They get a nice softball week 1 against Arizona. I think their stretch right after that's a bit tough. You get Miami, Jacksonville, and you're on the road against Baltimore, on the road against Houston, on the road against New York. That 3-game road trip is going to be brutal for Buffalo. But I think they are able to catch Houston, hand them their first loss of the season. Get Baltimore. That's tough. I think they get the Jets in MetLife again this year, but lose at home to the Jets. And then I think you see it in the bottom there in the middle. Back-to-back games with a bye week in between against Kansas City and San Francisco, the 2 teams who made the Super Bowl last year. Josh Allen has played really well against Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. When it comes to the playoffs, not so much. And I think then they get San Francisco traveling up to Buffalo in a later season game. I think that's another win for the Bills. They get 2 tough games after that against the Rams and Lions on the road. I think they do a really good job at home this season. I think they lose just 2 home games. I think most of their losses are going to be on the road. But of course, who knows? I have 10 wins, but they very well could. If this receiving core just cannot get anything going for this offense and their defense is constantly out there on long drives, they could easily lose that game to Houston, lose the second game to New York and Miami. They could lose to Kansas City. They could lose to San Francisco. There's plenty of games here that I have them winning that they very well could lose if things go wrong in Buffalo this season. A lot of people are picking them a little bit closer towards the floor than towards their ceiling, but I have the Buffalo Bills sitting at 10 wins at the end of the 2024 season. Let's wrap this thing up. Final division standings. Oh boy, the Jets winning it all. How about it? Their first division title since 2002. I think they're able to get it done via a win Week 18 against Miami. And I think them beating Buffalo the week earlier is going to be quintessential in winning the division as well. The Jets are going to be a team to watch in December and early January. I think the Bills and the Dolphins are neck and neck. I think it came down, if I'm correct, it was either this or the Jacksonville-Indianapolis dispute in the last video where I had them both finishing 9-8. I have both these two teams at 10-7. One of the two of them, I remember, it came down to strength of schedule, strength of wins. And I had Buffalo just slightly ahead of Miami. So, Miami gets the 7, Buffalo gets the 6 seed. Where they're going to end up might be very important at that point. And then, you got New England at the bottom. I think that's pretty common. It's a toss-up between 3 teams in this division, and then there's New England. It's the unfortunate truth of it all, but, I mean, what a weird change in power in this division. It used to be New England up top, and the other 3 teams are just fighting for second place. Now it's the reverse. New England's down at the bottom, and the other 3 teams are now fighting for first. I'm really excited to see how this division shakes up in 2024. So that's going to conclude this video. Who do you think wins the AFC East this season? It's really a toss-up, isn't it? Is it the Jets with Aaron Rodgers? Does Josh Allen repeat as division champs again? Do they keep supremacy in the AFC East? Or do the Miami Dolphins win their first division title since 2008? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please give a like on this video and subscribe for more general NFL content. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.